Hello, this is Kelly, and welcome back to Minivan Camper Gal. And I am trying to design my second paper mache build for the Santa Fe. So this is the old frame from my van, and I'm going to see if I can modify it for the SUV and not have to totally build it from scratch. So first I get to work on disassembling the old bed platform. I have to essentially make it half as wide. So I'm taking out the middle panels here. I have it all apart now, and I'm trying to reconstruct the frame, but in a smaller version. Now I'm experimenting with some slats. I got these slats, but they're way too bendy. There's no way they're gonna work. So instead, I used another recycled part from the van. So I'm thinking I'm going to use my floorboards, my recycled floorboards from the van, as bed planks. So I'm going to cut these down, and I think that'll work. And if I keep this one long, this is my little pull-out section. I still have to build legs for it. But if I keep this one long, I can actually sit up against the door here and sit with my back up to here. Otherwise, I have this big space here that's empty. So I can use this as additional seating. I need to keep this from sliding off. So underneath, I'm going to glue this little strip underneath here, and hopefully that'll keep it from sliding off. So I glued my strips on, and it works perfectly. It really holds the panel on and keeps it from sliding off the edge there. I do have to modify some cushions. So these cushions were from a previous build in my van, but I have to cut one cushion essentially in half. So when I have my tent up in the front, I can remove half of the cushion. So I cut the foam, and now I have to create covers for both of them. So I'm reusing this cover, just sewing it up. And that turned out fine. So this cushion cover I had to make from scratch, and it turned out pretty good. It's a little loose, but not bad, except for one small detail. Oops. But it kind of looks good, right? It looks like I meant to do it. I actually had it right, and then I messed up and had to use a different piece of fabric, and I forgot to check to make sure it was in the right direction. But oh well. It works. Okay, so this is my bed all finished. I have my bedding suspended with a cargo net on the side there. And when I have my tent, this extra cushion, I don't know, can go on the side or something. But the cushions lift up, and I can get into the under storage here. Not a lot of storage, but I can put some stuff under there. And the reason I have it so short is so that I can be comfortable sitting on it and have enough headroom. So here's what I've got so far. I'm going to have some cabinets under here, and a little tiny spot for my feet, and some cabinets over there. And over here is going to be my sink that is going to sit in the counter like that. But I wanted to show you something. I'm trying to put some wood supports in so that everything is as solid as it can be. And I got the idea from my battery cover here to use engineered hardwood. So this is a piece of engineered hardwood. You can get them at Floor and Decor, any store that sells flooring, really. So you can get samples for $5. And the great thing about this is it's really, really thin. And it's been treated to not warp and not move as much as regular wood, and it's really solid. It's tough to find a piece this rigid and this thin. And it's also waterproof, so that's nice. In comparison, I also got this board at Lowe's for $5. So this is a perfectly fine board, nothing wrong with it. But if you don't want to buy a whole sheet of plywood for 40 or 50 bucks and worry about cutting that down, you might take a look at flooring. I also got these boards for $5, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Another price-saving tip is to get some paint stirrers, paint sticks. These were, I think, $2 or something for 3 sticks, and I can use them as some of my supports. So that's how it's going so far. Wish me luck. So these are the paint stirrer sticks, and I'm just propping them up and cutting them when I need to. I'm using a Japanese pull saw from Lowe's, and it was really easy to cut things down exactly how I needed it. So here are the bones of my countertop here. I've got 2 little supports there, 2 supports there, 2 supports there. So now I'm going to scuff that one up and put some glue on this one and put my countertop back on. Okay, my countertop has reached a new stage. All of its supports are glued on here and underneath. I've got 3 different boards kind of holding everything in place. And my sink is coming along. So this is all gonna get paper mache'd. And I think that's gonna work. So I was planning on making this whole thing cabinets all up here, all up to the ceiling. But I think if I make this a flat countertop, I can access it from the door there. And I can sort of use it as a little countertop to, you know, make a sandwich or maybe cook. And a flat countertop to maybe stack my cushions if I need to, get them out of the way. It's such a nice cabinet, and this board really fits perfectly. But I think I'm gonna chop it off there and make this flat. Okay, chopped off. I hope that was the right decision. But now I'll have this nice countertop right at the entrance of the door there. And plenty of room for my laptop, however I want it to be when I'm working. Well, it's done now. So this is my countertop from the back door. I've gotten some more paint sticks, and I also got a couple of yardsticks. So I'm going to use this yardstick to kind of help solidify the edge of my cabinet here. Okay, so this is the final look of my design before I paper mache it. So I have my cabinets, my little foothold, my sink over here. This little piece comes out and the sink pops right out so that I can put in my water. I have my countertop and I built a shelf, a little removable storage thing that fits right up into the window. So now I'm going to take my Titebond, put some water in, and mix it up. And now it's time to paper mache. The paper usually tears better in one direction than another. And I learned to tear all the pieces at once instead of one tiny piece at a time. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. What I started doing later was I put a glove on and just sort of saturated the piece in my hand. And this technique worked really well for paper macheing the underside of cabinets, like the ceiling of things. So just paper macheing away. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. Just putting the pieces in and filling in all the little gaps. So this is the end of this video. I continued to paper mache everything. And on the next video, I'm going to show you my entire build mostly finished. So stay tuned.